It was the July of 1943. Germany's Nazi forces had conquered Western Europe. They were now rushing to topple the Soviet Union. Germany launched Operation Citadel. The objective was to breach Soviet defenses. Two pincer movements were launched from the north and the south. The southern assault was in a region called Kursk. Nazi troops engaged the Soviets in house-to-house and hand-to-hand fighting. The campaign soon became one of the deadliest in World War II's history. It witnessed the single deadliest armored battle in modern warfare. Eventually, the Soviets managed to hand the Germans a bloody defeat. And the brutal campaign was named the Battle of Kursk. Since World War II, the Soviet Union and then Russia have fought in multiple wars. From fighting the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, the Chechens in Dagestan, to the Georgian army, Russia has been the aggressor. Since the Battle of Kursk 8 decades ago, no power had been able to invade Russia. But that was completely undone last week, when Ukraine became the first nation to invade Russia since World War II. And ironically, Volodymyr Zelensky's troops chose to reenact the Battle of Kursk from 1943. Last week, Ukraine scored its first victory since the war first began in February 2022. Almost 2,000 Ukrainian troops advanced up to 30 kilometers inside Russia's southwestern Kursk Oblast region. The first capture was the town of Sudzha, a strategic town which facilitates Russia's oil and gas exports to its ally Belarus and even some Western nations. Ukraine has now captured over 1,000 square kilometers of Russian land in Kursk. Ukraine has also captured almost 28 villages and 40 kilometers along the border.
Currently, the situation in the Kursk region is difficult. 28 settlements are under control of the enemy. The depth of incursion into the territory of the Kursk region is 12 kilometers. The width along the front is 40 kilometers.
The Ukrainian assault has come as a surprise to Russia. Vladimir Putin is furious at the failure of his troops. He's demanding answers from his generals. However, Ukraine continues to dominate the battlefield.
We have sent a brigade only this morning. We did not succeed at the first attempt. The day before yesterday, Rossetti Brigade was sent to repair electricity in Belovsky district and came under shelling. The brigade got shelled. Some ammunitions contained chemicals as well. The brigade took shelter in the local police station.
Within a week, over 120,000 Russian civilians were forced to flee Kursk. Russian troops are in a dilemma. They are caught between fighting Ukrainian soldiers and fast-tracking civilian evacuations. The evacuated Russians who fled their homes have urged Putin to provide help.
We knew from the news, from the internet, that our territory in Sudzha was invaded by armed forces of Ukraine. Well, we were concerned, but not to this extent. Then we heard from the news they were informing that severe battles were going on. In a day or two, people began leaving. The whole life is left behind. The whole life is left behind. Their friends who left as well. Our house, yes. They were saying that looting was going on. If you are not killed, your house is not hit, you still don't know what are you going to find.
After the evacuations in Kursk were complete, Russia began similar evacuations in the neighboring Belgorod region. And seeing the Russian actions, Ukraine's confidence reached an all-time high.
Dear Mr. President, Supreme Commander-in-Chief, during our offensive on the territory of Russia's Kursk region, as of right now, around 1,000 square kilometers, 386 square miles of the Russian Federation are under our control. Our units are carrying out the assigned tasks. Practically, there are battles on the entire front line. The situation is under our control.
Zelensky says that the Kursk incursion has many layers to it. The region was chosen for two reasons. The first is the historical significance. The second is that Russia launched thousands of attacks from Kursk, and this was giving Putin a taste of war.
Станом на сьогодні і від 1 червня
As of today, and since June 1st, there have been almost 2,100 episodes of shelling of the Sumy region. Therefore, our operations are purely a security matter for Ukraine, aimed at liberating the border areas from Russian military presence. I thank all our soldiers, sergeants, and officers for their courage and effective actions. It is entirely justified to destroy Russian terrorists wherever they are, wherever they launch their attacks from. Russian military airfields, Russian logistics. We see the benefits this can bring in bringing peace closer. Russia needs to be forced into peace, especially if Putin is so set on fighting.
для наближення миру це може принести.
Lauding Ukraine's actions is America. That's because Zelensky's troops used American armored vehicles and tanks and the recently acquired F-16 jets to target the Kursk region. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham has called the incursion into Russia bold and brilliant.
What I think about Kursk, bold, brilliant, beautiful. Keep it up. Putin started this, kick his ass. Bottom line is to the administration, I appreciate your support. Let these people fight. Give them weapons they need to win a war they can't afford to lose.
Putin has called Ukraine's Kursk incursion a major provocation. He has also accused NATO of playing a role in the operation and called Zelensky a puppet of the West. Putin says that Ukraine is trying to capture Russian land to bargain in a peace deal. However, the Russian leader has promised to respond to Zelensky and declared that any peace talks were now completely off the table.
It is becoming obvious and clear now why the Kiev regime had refused our proposals to return to a peaceful settlement plan, as well as the proposals of interested and neutral mediators. It appears that the enemy, with the help of his Western masters, is fulfilling their will, and the West is fighting us with the hands of the Ukrainians. So looks like the enemy seeks to improve its negotiating positions in the future. The enemy will certainly receive a worthy response, and all our objectives will undoubtedly be achieved.
Russia has mobilized its forces in large numbers. The Battle of Kursk is about to get bloody. Ukraine still controls large portions of the Russian province. Putin is furious with the current situation. And he's in no mood to let Zelensky get away with the adventure in Kursk.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.